So you are the mysterious man behind Humans of Leeds that we've seen all over the internet here in the city. Tell me, where did the inspiration come from to start Humans of Leeds?
So Humans of New York is the inspiration for the Leeds one. Basically, I kept on seeing it in my Facebook feed, and I was looking for a photography project to do after having done one before the previous year, I kind of researched sort of street photography and street portraits a little bit before deciding to do it, and then there wasn't one around. I searched on the internet if there was one around. So once I kind of decided what I wanted to do, I kind of just went out there and just did it one day. Literally, just went out and started asking people for their pictures.
So before then, were you much of a photographer already?
I was getting into it. I bought a DSLR and I was getting into the whole photography scene. I had it for a couple of years, maybe, but I was kind of honing my skills really. I was trying to see what areas of photography I could really sort of get into, and I tried several different things. I thought portraiture would be something quite interesting, especially portraiture which is not planned, which is out in the street, completely sort of ad hoc. So I thought I'd try that particular aspect of it.
I'm curious, getting people to stop in the street on a busy day and have their picture taken for some random reason, if they've not seen Humans of Leeds, they don't know what this is all about. What's your approach with them? How do you stop them and get them talking?
So I learned over time that you just have to just be straight out and be upfront. You can't go up to somebody and start telling them about the project, as in give like a massive spiel over it. You just have to come out and say, "Excuse me, can I take a picture?" And then just kind of take it from there. They'll either say yes or no at that point, and it's just easier for them and me to know what their decision is. So once that's kind of done, then you move on to the next phase. So it's just about asking that question.
And as well as the photographs, I see all around the gallery, and I see on the Humans of Leeds page as well, that there's always sometimes quite detailed stories that come from their lives. Sometimes very good stories about couples that have been together for decades and decades and what the secret to their happiness is. Sometimes rather more dark stories about people who've been through quite traumatic times. How do you get them talking about that?
So that's a process in itself. Again, I've kind of had to learn how to do that. It's almost like a conversation skill in itself. So I kind of start off quite vague. I'll ask them about themselves, what they do, their job maybe, and then it kind of gets a little more deeper once you kind of start talking to them more and more. And then depending on what they kind of tell me, then I'll kind of steer the conversation in a certain direction. So it depends on the individual. So some people I can tell straight away that they're quite open. Some people I can tell they're not really going to tell me anything quite detailed about themselves. So I try and keep it quite sort of vague. But it depends on the individual, really. You get a sense of somebody straight away once you kind of start chatting to them. So.
Tell me about some of the people then that you've met and who you've photographed that stand out the most.
So I guess, just looking around the exhibition, I'm kind of looking at the people's kind of behind you, but I think sort of Callum was quite interesting. The guy dressed up over there, he told me about his story where he had a petrol bomb thrown at him, which was a horrific thing. He was quite sort of jolly in a way, and I thought, if something like that would happen to somebody, I can think it's quite traumatic. But the amazing thing I found is the people that tell me these stories, even though they've had all these experiences, they come out of it and they get over it, and that's the human condition. I find it's quite interesting that people go through so many sort of bad experiences, but I think as humans and as people, we kind of we're quite good at taking those things and turning them around and living our lives and carrying on, as it were.
And from meeting some of the people that you've met and spoken to with Humans of Leeds, what has your view of the city changed? I mean, I look at some of the pictures and I see really interesting set of people that, to me personally anyway, shows the diversity of the city. You know, what used to be a town, quite a dour northern town, now is so creative. You get people with all sorts of colours of hair, tattoos down the arm. You get a very creative face to the city, but you know, you see a good mix of people. That's what I take from it. How do you interpret it?
I that's what I like about it, and I think that's what makes Leeds what it is. I try to capture anyone and everyone. I don't go for any specifics of demographic or any group, because that's the beauty of the city. It has all these people, and you know, it should encompass all of that. So yeah, I mean, I haven't, because the project's been only going for a couple of years, I haven't noticed a change in any of that demographic. But you know, if given time, then we'll kind of see if there are any differences in the city over that time.
And one final thought: why do you choose to stay anonymous?
So that's something which wasn't planned. It was just something which came about when the project started getting noticed. I guess I didn't really put my name to it, and then it was kind of a fun way of kind of doing the project as well. And the more kind of people I talked to about it, they said, "Oh, that's quite interesting that there's this anonymous person going around taking pictures and people not knowing who it is." But I mean, I just say that it doesn't matter who it is, I think, because it's more about the people and their stories rather than who's doing it. And it's quite a fun way for me to see that from my perspective and kind of get people's reactions of it.